Hello Radio Pulse and welcome back to a new episode of AUX Tips and Bits. Thank you all for your comments and support in the previous video. I hope you use the plugin chain on your vocals. For those who are new to this series of episodes, AUX Tips and Bits is a series of videos containing mainly tips for radio production and radio imaging. In the previous videos, we went through 2 voiceover plugin chains I created, and now in this video I will try to finish the whole session. It might seem a bit messy, the session by its look, but I will do my best to explain what goes where. First of all, I liked mostly the voiceover chain number 2, so we're gonna play with this chain here. I will delete the dry VO channel and the voiceover chain number 1 from the session so as not to be distracted. You will notice I colored my channels so as to make my life easier in regards to what each channel contains. I think coloring your tracks will help your daily lives. Let's start with the voice. Voice channels are the purple ones. Voiceover chain number 2, which is our main VO with these settings. Today's hits on beat, on today's hits on beat. Then we have a filter VO channel which has all the main VO settings we watched before, plus one more plugin which I like it from day one. This is the Kill EQ by Air and sounds like this. 104.6, 104.6, 104.6, 104.6. Then we have the voiceover delay channel which has all the main VO settings plus a delay plugin. Most of the times when I use delays or verbs on my channel, I do it via auxiliary track. This time I put it as an insert and I played with the wet-dry knob inside the plugin. This particular delay plugin, Relayer from UVI, is a super creative delay plugin, containing way too many features. This is how I used it for this session. 6. Below the delay channel I have the vocal bender VO channel, which also has all the main VO settings plus the vocal bender plugin from Waves and a Renaissance EQ from Waves, which I use it as a low-cut filter in this case. This is how it sounds. Beat, 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 beat. You will notice that all voiceover channels are feeding 2 basses. The first one is the V-Reverb bass that goes to an auxiliary track with the True Verb by Waves on it with these settings. Second bass is the EQ ducking. We will explain this in a bit. Let's jump to the next tracks, the green ones which have all the audio elements such as sound effects, production beds, music, drones, etc. I always have these elements in a certain level in my mixes. Let's have a look in the mixer. These tracks send their signal to a bus which goes to the auxiliary track SFX Music Bus. The auxiliary track is loaded with an F6 dynamic EQ by Waves, which is flat as you notice, and I will explain this shortly, the Oxford Inflator and the Supercharger by Native Instruments. Let's listen to the differences. I'm using this auxiliary track mainly to boost the RMS of my audio elements in the mix, but also to give some frequency space for my vocals. This is where the F6 dynamic EQ collaborates with something we mentioned earlier, the EQ ducking bus on my vocal channels. The F6 is sidechaining the signal from the EQ ducking bus and you get this. Today's hits on beat, 104.6. As we go down to the tracks, I have a delay auxiliary track which is getting sound from an audio element in Audio 11 track. This is a cool trick that I'm trying to implement in my mixes lately. Let's go through it. The audio element I'm gonna play with is a crowd cheer sound which sounds like this. It sends its signal to the delay bus to the delay auxiliary track which has an H delay plugin by Waves, RAUM by Native Instruments, an L1 limiter and the Supercharger again from Native Instruments. This time, Supercharger is sidechaining the signal pre-fader from bus 5 on the Audio 10 track which has a production bed on it. Now the delay effect is being compressed to the signal of the production bed. This sidechain gives a pumping effect which I personally like, and I find it nice to blend your reverbs or delays with the rest of your elements. Sounds like this. And finally, the master track, in which I have a Q10, a C4 multiband by Waves, and the Pro limiter by Avid.
Today's hits on Beat 104.6.
Hope you liked the video and find it useful for your productions. Let me know your thoughts when you try these settings. Subscribe and get notified for more AUX tips and beats in the future. Till next video, have a good one and stay creative.